Look in my quiet face, friends, and stay beside me for a while. My name is Mary Lennox, born beneath the burning Indian sun. My lovely mother cared only for crowded evening parties. She left my childhood entirely in the hands of the servants. Nobody truly wanted me and nobody offered gentle affection. My ayah obeyed every order just to keep me silent and distant. Without guidance I became stubborn, selfish and impatient. When anger filled my mind I struck the people around me. On the morning of my 9th birthday everything suddenly changed. The house stood strangely silent and my ayah never appeared. Hurried footsteps echoed through the long empty corridors. Every frightened face told me that ordinary life had vanished. The house is silent and nobody calls my name. The toys beside my bed feel lonely and unfamiliar. Take my hand, everyone, walk with me through these empty halls. We must face the darkness before it swallows every room. I stayed inside my room and ate the fruit left on the plate. From the garden came endless crying and desperate voices. Only later did I learn the terrible truth behind those sounds. A deadly wave of cholera had swept across our home. One day passed and another disappeared into complete silence. The servants had either fled or fallen. During the confusion I became one lonely child inside an enormous wooden house. I slept upon the floor while the world forgot I existed. On the third morning heavy boots thundered across the veranda. English officers searched every abandoned room one by one. They stopped in shock when they found me sitting quietly alone. There is a child still living, they cried, a child no one remembered. The house is silent, nobody calls my name. The toys beside my bed feel lonely and unfamiliar. Take my hand, everyone, walk with me through these empty halls. We must face the darkness before it swallows every room. The officers gently tell me what became of my parents. Both were taken by the sickness in its earliest days. There is no longer a place waiting for me in India. A distant uncle in England will become my new guardian. The uniform steps echo as they lead me through the gate. A temporary room in a stranger's house is where I wait. The burning sun of India is fading from my eyes. A long and lonely journey lies beneath the changing skies. Officers left me at the house of a poor clergyman. I stay with his 5 children in a cramped and noisy house. I dislike their cheap toys and refuse to join their games. I sit alone in the corner of the garden, feeling deeply annoyed. Basil, the eldest boy, follows me across the dry grass. He watches my sour expression depression and laughs at my complete isolation. He tells me that no one wants me here because of my bad temper. He says I am being sent away across the sea to live with a strange uncle. Pack the heavy bags, everyone! Look at the wide gray ocean landscape! We are leaving the burning sun behind for a country we only dread. Hold my hand tight as we cross the threshold of this unfamiliar country. We must face the dark stories waiting behind the uncle's closed door. Basil smiles cruelly and shares the rumors of my new guardian. He says I am going to live with Mr. Archibald Craven in Yorkshire. He describes my uncle as a hunchback with a terrible dark mind. He says the Grand Manor has 100 locked rooms and no friends. His words force me to realize a very clear and unpleasant fact. I am no longer the wealthy lady who commands native servants. To these people, I am just a plain and disagreeable orphan child. My special place in the world vanished completely with the cholera wave. The long sea voyage passes in a fog of silence and salt water. The ship reaches the crowded docks of London on a grey morning. An unknown woman waits beside the carriage to take control of my life. She wears a purple dress and a bonnet with velvet flowers. Pack the heavy bags, everyone! Look at the wide grey ocean landscape! We are leaving the burning sun behind for a country we only dread. Hold my hand tight as we cross the threshold of this unfamiliar country. We must face the dark stories waiting behind the uncle's closed door. Her name is Mrs. Medlock, the housekeeper of Miss Elthwaite Manor. She looks at my thin yellow face and finds me thoroughly ugly. I refuse to speak to her and turn my head toward the cold rain. I pack her sharp looks inside my mind like heavy stone weights. The carriage where the long iron track begins. Voyage ends at a busy London station. I sit across from Mrs. Medlock inside a railway carriage. She wears a purple dress and a bonnet with velvet flowers. Her cold eyes study my face without a single smile. The iron wheels strike the shining rails beneath our feet. Heavy British rain runs slowly down the narrow window glass. I turn away and watch the endless fields drift into gray. A wall of silence settles quietly between us. Listen to the iron tracks, everyone. Hear the endless rhythm echo Mrs. Medlock breaks the silence and begins a careful warning. She says I should expect no cheerful welcome at the manor. Mr. Archibald Craven keeps himself away from every visitor. His beloved wife died long ago and took his happiness away. She describes a giant house standing beside the empty moor. 100 rooms remain shut behind old wooden doors. High stone walls surround the quiet halls and shadowed passages. My new home begins to sound like a sleeping fortress. Curiosity rises beside my growing fear. I have never imagined a house with so many locked rooms. Station lamps appear like distant stars beyond the mist. The engine slows at last and the iron brakes begin to cry. Beyond the lonely fields. We step onto a platform built from cold and shining stone. A black horse waits beside a closed and silent carriage. The air smells of wet earth and distant heather. Mrs. Medlock pulls her cloak close against the wind. The carriage rolls away beneath the darkening sky. The last warm lights disappear beyond the lonely hills. An endless sea of moorland stretches into the night. Come with me where the silent manor waits beyond the wind. Medlock wakes me from a deep and restless sleep. The train stands silent beneath the frozen night. The station master speaks in words I cannot understand. Every sound belongs to a country far from mine. We climb into a carriage drawn by two dark horses. The scattered lamps grow smaller and disappear behind us. I press my face against the cold glass window. No house, no fire, and no friendly light remain. Look through the dark, everyone, where the endless shadows gather. We are riding toward the hills where the restless north winds blow. Hold my hand tight as the silent horses cross the empty land. We must follow the lonely road beneath the sea of heather. I ask Mrs. Medlock what people call amour. She says it is a wide land without forests or towns. Only rough gorse bushes and purple heather cover the earth. Wild sheep wander there beneath the open sky. A fierce wind strikes the sides of the wooden coach. Its voice rolls over the hills like breaking waves. I whisper that the night sounds just like the sea. She smiles and says the heather is singing in the dark. Her answer cannot quiet the fear inside me. The horses seem to cross a black and endless ocean. Cold air stretches farther than my eyes can see. My fingers grip the leather seat without letting go. Look through the dark, everyone, where the endless shadows gather. We are riding toward the hills where the restless north winds blow. Hold my hand tight as the silent horses cross the empty land. We must follow the lonely road beneath the sea of heather. The carriage leaves the open road and enters a tunnel of trees. Their branches weave together above our heads. The wind grows quiet while the darkness grows deeper. The great estate waits beyond the silent woods. Tall iron gates appear heavy front door opens into a vast and silent hall. The air feels colder than the wind beyond the moor. Great portraits of forgotten faces watch from the walls. Rows of iron armor stand like soldiers who never sleep. A quiet man named Mr. Picture comes to take our bags. He never looks at me and speaks only to Mrs. Medlock. The master will not see the child who lives beneath his roof. He prepares for his departure before the next morning arrives. Walk through the silent halls, everyone, count the doors that never move. We are climbing into a lonely house where every shadow stays. Hold my hand tight as we follow the endless oak stairs. We must learn the hidden paths before the darkness settles. We pass through winding passages that sink into deeper silence. Our footsteps echo beneath the ancient ceiling beams. Every turning hall hides another empty doorway. I feel smaller with every step I take. Mrs. Medlock opens a door and leads me to my rooms. A bright fire burns beside strange chairs and heavy curtains. She tells me never to wander through the rest of the house. The 100 silent rooms are not for me. Rules gather around me like walls of cold stone. I feel like a forgotten child hidden inside a giant box. I sink into the chair and listen to my lonely breathing. No one will answer if I call into the dark. Walk through the silent halls, everyone, count the doors that never move. We are climbing into a lonely house where every shadow stays. Hold my hand tight as we follow the endless oak stairs. We must learn the hidden paths before the darkness settles. Mrs. Medlock tells me to sleep and closes the heavy door. The lock turns softly somewhere beyond my sight. Silence settles over the great house like falling snow. Only the wind across the moor remembers my name. The fire sinks slowly into quiet silver ash. No gentle voice whispers goodnight beside my bed. The long English night wraps around the silent manor. Come with me into my dreams until the morning light strikes.